Today on RB's Toy Box, we're going to take a close look at some different products that you can buy off of Etsy for your Ghostbusters Proton Pack from Spirit Halloween. Stay tuned. Welcome back to another how-to video here on RB's Toy Box. Today we're going to be working a little more on my Ghostbusters Proton Pack. Now, if you recall, this is the 80% version from Spirit Halloween, and I did my own customizations to it. I didn't go screen accurate or anything like that. I went RB Toy Box style. Now with that, I ordered several different parts from different vendors. Yeah, you know, just try to spread it around a little bit, find out who's doing the best of what. I run across one particular vendor, and that was Great Scott on Etsy. Great Scott on Etsy, and they produced a product that I was really impressed with. And if you recall, it was this piece right over here that holds the Spangler wand to your Ghostbusters Proton Pack. Now, that was like laser cut. I mean, it was done so very well. The holes lined up perfectly. Inside the square was just, I mean, perfectly fit. I was really impressed with that. Especially when you're dealing with 3D printing. I mean, how do you get it absolutely perfect? And theirs was absolutely perfect. So I wanted to get a few more parts for them, and I had a conversation with them, and we got more parts in. So I have several different parts that I'm going to both add to this unit, as well as a couple of other 80%ers that I have. One of them for my wife, one of them for my daughter, and we're going to get those fixed up. Not as nice as this one yet, but we are going to add some extra bells and whistles to those 80%ers as well. Now I'm going to turn the light up here so you can see a little bit better, but the piece that we're going to be putting in today is this ion antenna or whatever, but it comes in two pieces like this. No hardware or anything with that, because the two main screws that you're going to use is right here already at the top of your pack. I'm going to do a close-up here in just a second, but when we look at this, this is one of the things that I really liked about this particular vendor. If you look here very closely, you can see a little bit of the 3D marks here. The sides are perfectly smooth with no markings on it. What that tells me is they left some texture here to give it a little bit of that polished aluminum look, even though it's plastic. And then this, same thing. They could have totally just threw a plastic dowel rod in here, but this has that copper tone look to it, and it's a little rough on the edge, almost like you would see if it was spun copper. So very interesting that they thought of doing it that way instead of just sticking a rod and just a chunk of plastic with a couple of holes in it. They also took the time to recess in here, and then smartly, there's two additional holes back here. You say, what are those for? And I'm glad you asked. There's no instructions with this, so this is the RB Toy Box's opinion. Therefore, holding them in place with a little pinhole. So what I'm going to do as part of this video is put this on the way RB's Toy Box would put it on. There's a lot of different videos out there. These are obviously how I'm going to do it. I honestly haven't watched any of the other videos. So this is my first time doing it, first time taking it apart. You're going to be right along the journey with me. So let's get started. The first thing I want to do with this is go ahead and drill my pilot holes here. Then I'm going to take them out and finish the hole. And then I have these little bitty screws that I'm going to be putting in. And I want to be very careful to, it doesn't need to secure it. It just needs to keep it from sliding out, which means the only thing that will matter is that the head fits inside the hole down to where the rod's at. Okay, we don't want it to stick above, because then this wouldn't sit flush. We need it to sit flush, but we don't need it to secure it in like you're screwing this to the wall. We just need to keep these from sliding out easily. Now, that means, and that's why this is necessarily removable, that means that it could potentially get broken during transport. That is a decision that you'll need to make about your proton pack. When you go to transport it, this is a piece of plastic. At the end of the day, if you secure it, it's not going to be removable for transport. So again, just a consideration to make. But I'm going to go ahead and do that. When I go to transport it, just like with some of the other pieces that are on here, I'm probably either going to make sure I have foam padding in there, or it's just 2 screws. I'll just pull this out, pull my little screw out, pull that out, and I'm done. But in the meanwhile, while I'm out there on cosplay, it keeps it from necessarily falling out, and then I'm like, oh, where'd my ion rod go? So that's how I'm going to do it, just so you know. So first things first, I am going to, again, drill the pilot holes, and let's get started. In this particular case, I'm going to take this little guy right here, and I'm going to pierce this one on that flat side there. And then repeat the same process. Alrighty, now it's time to start getting into this piece right here. Now, this is all one piece held on by these 2 screws, which is also what holds on our new piece. What you have the option of doing, and what I'm going to do, is you have this painted piece that comes on the unit, that when you put the other piece on top of it, you're going to have one silver piece on top of another silver piece. I don't know that that's going to look so good. So I'm actually going to take a paint pen and go around the edges here, and then layer that. I'm not going to try to paint this whole thing, although I could, but I'm just going to go around the edges here, and then, pull these off, put the new piece on, then I'm good to go. So let me get my paint pen here. These you can get on Amazon, by the way. They are a great lifesaver when you need something painted, especially on my wheelchair where I've got little nicks and stuff like that where the plastic and the wood's at. This is a great little piece. So you just shake them up, and then it's kind of like a permanent marker, but it's paint. So you push that little plunger in, and it makes the paint come out. They also have this in silver as well. So, if you're doing black or silver, or they have other colors, I mean, you'll see on here, it does such a great little job. But again, I'm just going to paint this up and probably fast forward through this. Here we go. Whoop. All right, so got it painted up. It dries pretty fast. And then we'll just take this piece off here. These are 2 really, really long screws. So if you're screwing and screwing and screwing, you're wondering why it's taking so long, it's because they're long screws. My ion piece. There we go. We're going to slide those through there. Now this is where the little indentions come into play. Screw those back through until it hits the shaft. Just like that. And then another good thing with these, and short of a couple of, fast forwards, this is pretty much real time how long it would take for you to put these on your 80% pack. Now, I do know that Spirit Halloween came out with a full-size pack. I'm sure you guys have all seen on that. I may eventually get one. I'm hoping that they don't just flat out run out and then it turns into another eBay Hasbro thing to where they're a bazillion dollars for something that should be, 120 bucks. But you never know. And just screw those back in there, just like that. And quick as Bob's your uncle. Anybody really have Bob's their uncle? Just curious. There we go. It is installed. So we've got the black around the edges here. We put our little pieces in there to keep these from sliding out. And, just like in the movie, it has a little bit of an angle to it, which that's kind of cool too. But this is it. I mean, we have this piece now installed. So I hope you enjoyed this little how-to video here on RB's Toy Box. I've got quite a few more that's getting ready to pop in for this unit and some brand new 80%ers that I have picked up that I'm going to also be building those up as well with some parts that I've got from Great Scott there on Etsy. So make sure you tune in for those other how-to videos as well. Stay tuned.